it's not easy being a Deepika Padukone in a country like ours. I will concede that I think a lot nowadays, whereas that should not be the case. But unfortunately, because firstly, we do not have a public discourse, and whatever is available is in shambles.
Hi everyone, joining us today is Vikrant Messi. Vikrant, thank you so much for taking time out to do this with us.
Thank you so much for having me again. It's always a pleasure to see you, as always.
In some sense, you started with TV, right? How did that come to you, and what was the one major learning you understood about different kinds of mediums? Because TV is very different from films.
Yeah, I started off with television. I very precisely even remember when. One Diwali evening, I was out with friends having dinner at this, beautiful place called Out of the Blue, which is at Pali Hill in Bombay.
Yeah.
And Diwali night, it was packed, and we were there. नया नया पैसा हम बनाने लगे थे सारे कॉलेज के जितने भी दोस्त थे. So, we were like, चलो अच्छी जगह जाके खाना खाते हैं. Outside, the washroom area, I bumped into a lady called Deepti Kalwani. She was the creative head for Contillo Films that was working for one of the shows for Star Plus. And she told me, what, I think, I would really want you to come and, audition for us. We are making a television show. And I honestly did not pay too much of heed to it at that time because I was really enjoying my stint with SDI. So मैं जाके उनसे मिला, and when they told me that I will be paid an X amount of money per episode, I was like, wow. I was like, यार ये तो मतलब my father is not making so much of money, मतलब जितना ये मुझे offer कर रहे हैं. So I immediately lapped it up, and there were reasons for me to take it up. If we specifically talk about Balika Vadhu, it was that show also happened accidentally. I was called to play a cameo for 3 months. My contract was for
Hmm.
3 months, and people lapped onto it so well that I ended up doing that character in show for 2.5 years. I was very lucky to be privy, and watch these stalwarts from NSD like Anup Soni, Surekha Sikhriji,
Yeah.
Satyadeep Sharma, and Rajendra Gupta, and all these guys. They are veterans when it comes to theatre. There was an unsaid understanding between all these senior guys. हम लोग वहाँ पे छोटे छोटे बच्चे तो थे ही, बट इन सारे सीनियर एक्टर्स में एक ये अंडरस्टैंडिंग थी कि सेट पे कोई फोन लेके नहीं आता था. तो वो इतना एक इनग्रेन हो गया मेरे अंदर, एंड आई रियलाइज कि दोज 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours today which we realize because of screen time which we can check on our phones, कि
Yeah.
हम इतने घंटे हम फोन पे बिताते हैं. वो दिन के 3-4 घंटे इतने क्रूशल होते हैं जो आप वाइल अवे कर देते हैं फोन पे. वो मेरा एक ऑनसेट डिसिप्लिन बन गया आज भी जो है. The floor I am shooting on, where the camera and setup is, I don't carry my phone. Television is a daily medium. You have to make 20 minutes of edited footage a day, which is almost like 100 minutes a week. So you're making a film every week. You really do not have the time and the leisure to sit and prepare. There are times when हम लोग बहुत ही colloquial terms में कहते हैं गर्मा गर्म स्क्रिप्ट आ रही है, जेरोक्स मशीन से गर्मा गर्म स्क्रिप्ट आ रही है. वो आप उसको उसी वक्त पढ़ रहे हो, आपको सिर्फ 2 या 3 टेक मिलेंगे ज्यादा से ज्यादा, और जो आपने दोपहर में शूट किया कई बार वो रात को टेलीकास्ट होता है.
Did you ever feel that it was stifling for you as an actor? Like somebody who wants to act, I've spoken to TV actors who said that it's not the best medium for somebody who wants to pursue the art.
I agree. And this was primarily one of the reasons, as I said, underutilized. This was primarily one of the reasons for me to take that leap of faith and try cinema. I was not happy, and I absolutely resonate with people who say this is probably not the best medium for you to try your creative abilities. And that's the reason I left. But whatever I have learned, as I said, is because of my, decade-long exposure to television.
Then of course Lutera came along. I want to understand from you, how did that happen?
So Lutera will always be a very special experience for me because I had not really tested for a feature film up until then. So Atul Mongia, the casting director of the film, had probably seen Balika Vadhu, and I said कि okay, you know what, let's do one thing. Film auditions करना चाहते हैं, एक बार देख लेते हैं कि वहाँ का सिस्टम कैसा होता है, क्या होता है. और एक तो for some strange reason I think it's with most of the people जो खास तौर पे टेलीविजन के होते हैं, तो वो ना उस सिनेमा की दुनिया और उसके पेरिफेरल से इतने इंटिमिडेटेड रहते हैं, पता नहीं क्यों. तो मेरा भी वैसे ही था. एंड व्हेन आई वेंट फॉर द ऑडिशन, आई गेव द ऑडिशन. दे रियली लाइक्ड माय ऑडिशन, बट they actually went ahead with someone else. And God willingly, the actor they had shortlisted to play the part I eventually played had something and he had to pull out of the film. And I got a call from Phantom again saying, "Are you still interested in playing that part?"
You know, Vikrant, you're a millennial actor. A part of being an actor, part of being the brand that you are today is, sort of associated with the numbers you have on social media, right? So,
True.
does that ever play a part in? Have you had people tell you that you have to be more active, you have to pay attention to social media because it's a part of the game?
Yeah, I mean, there have been people. If I very clearly recall, say maybe 2 3 years ago, after Death in the Gunj, people were like, we really think you need to engage with people on social media." It was not something that I absolutely, brushed off. It was something I thought of. I even attempted doing things that were expected of me, but that did not come naturally to me, and I exhausted myself really early. Twitter for me is the most vile public platform on earth. I think it's ridiculous. The idea was to educate, to inform, to make knowledge accessible to all at the click of a button. But today we know what exactly is happening on Twitter. So that is a strict no-no for me and for everyone in my house. Why do I not get papped was something which I was asked on a very regular basis. I said it's because I don't call the paps. I don't want to be shot. I don't want to be visible. You know, I am happy with the life I lead. I want to act in films and I'm getting to do that. And I'm getting to collaborate with directors, people, I'm sorry at the cost of sounding pompous, people aspire all their lives to work with. So I really don't think I would want to change my recipe.
I think I'll have to ask you this, and I know you're going to be a little emotional, but amidst the many things that happened in the past 7 months, we lost Irfan Khan, okay, and we know how close you are, how much you feel for him, and I'm talking about this because the day that happened, we had an interview lined up which got cancelled. So,
Oh my
and
goodness.
I could totally understand why and what probably must have been going through. I want to understand from you. What role did he have in you becoming an actor?
I was one of the millions who were shook by, his sudden demise. Though somewhere down the line, because of the grace he possessed, he somewhere down the line had mentally prepared us for this inevitability. Some days it still doesn't sink in. It still doesn't sink in that he's no more. When I was an assistant instructor, I was working with Shamak. Uh, I ended up watching Maqbool, and I decided that this is the future of cinema. I was so drawn towards Mia Maqbool, the character he played. I saw it twice back to back. He's impacted hundreds and millions of lives, not just by playing characters in front of the screen, but by also by his philosophy, also by the way he saw the world. His outlook towards the world was different. I have been fortunate to still have him around me, if I can say, because I still stand at my parents' house's window, and I can still see him. His grave is bang opposite my parents' house, and there are days when I just stand at the window with a cup of tea in my hand, and I just look at his grave, and I talk to him sometimes, and that's how special he is
That
to me.
when the Chapak, when the film was about to release, we saw this controversy sort of sparked, and a lot of people called it a publicity stunt. A lot of people also stood by her. What sort of happened in the backgrounds? Did you guys have a conversation about it? Whatever, we saw Boycott Chapak trending, and we knew that this was her first film as a producer also. So it was a huge, like, it was a message. It was a message out there. It was a statement to be made.
I was definitely privy to everything happened, but there are certain things that are very private and personal and are not meant to come out in the public domain. And I think this happens to be that gray area. All I can say is it was unfortunate for all of us, and especially Deepika, to go through it. It was her film as a producer. It was my big film with her, and the larger idea of the film was compromised, if I can say, because of this narrative that was out.
Mm.
But I think she's a fighter. She's seen worse. It's not easy being a Deepika Padukone in a country like ours. Threatening to cut off her nose, to boycotting her film. I think she's extremely strong, and she's always walked out of it with her head held high.
you as a public figure, when you take a stand on something, you know that you will be bracketed on one side of the agenda or the other side of the agenda. Um, how much thought do you put in before you actually go out and say something?
I will concede that I think a lot nowadays, whereas that should not be the case. But unfortunately, because firstly, we do not have a public discourse, and whatever is available is in shambles. Someone like me who would never think twice, say maybe a couple of years ago, has to think now, because that is how volatile the situation is. That is how, as you said, you're bracketed either or, and that's the sad state of public discourse that we have today. But I am an eternal optimist. I am hopeful that all of this will change when we have incredible people like the Quint, who are working so hard at sort of speaking their mind, and also asking people to speak their mind, because the collateral is very, very costly. I'm worried for my family. I'm worried for their safety, uh, and mine too. And I would want to leave it at that. And I think whatever I've said speaks volumes about the unfortunate public discourse that we have today.
Thank you so much, Vikrant. And
Thank you.
it's always a
Thank you.
delight to watch you on screen, and it's always a delight to know what you're getting on next. Thank you so much for
Thank
doing
you.
it. Bye.
Bye.